do it?
Cold in here. Afternoon.
I can see Rahman front and centre there. Rahman, you're going to be first guy today. Okay.
Thanks, Ian.
You're welcome.
Hi, John. How are you doing?
Hey, Rahman. Good, thank you.
Looking forward to getting back in the swing of things.
Yeah, it's always difficult when the international break comes around. It kind of interrupts you a little bit, especially when you feel you're getting a little bit of rhythm and the players coming together, and then obviously disperse with the national teams. But you know, it seems to be a clean bill of health on the way back, which is always a positive. So good. Some guys get games, some more than we probably wanted, but it is what it is, and we'll just move on now.
International games you're referring to, yeah? Any in particular that you shouldn't?
Yeah, no, listen, it's not that they shouldn't. It's the international teams' call to do that, you know. But especially, you know, international games when they're squeezing 3 in the space of the week, which is more than in previous seasons you normally get. You know, it's challenging in that respect. But again, the players are good. Everybody's come back healthy and well, so it's all positive.
Will it affect your selection in any way, John, then?
We'll look at it. As you know, there's a lot of guys probably itching a bit to get game time as well. At the same time, we want to be getting out with a strong team to win the game. It's an important competition for us. So we'll put a strong team out. We'll go strong. There'll be 1 or 2 decisions around players who, you know, maybe have come off the back of a busy schedule. But again, that's something we'll address in the next 24 hours.
How important is it, John, to end the season if possible with a trophy?
Yeah, it's always important. It's always a good thing to have at the end of the season. Again, for us this year with the campaign we've had, you know, it's not been as successful as previous seasons, and that hurts, you know, and you can feel that in the squad as well. You know, it's not a good thing to deal with. We're used to success, we're used to winning. We're at a club that demands that, so it's very much the competition we'll start this weekend is really important for us. One, for the campaign itself, but for the players themselves, the hunger to go on and keep winning, and keeping that kind of balance of getting that you get used to winning in terms of, like, it becomes part of your nature, it becomes part of your season in, season out, in terms of striving for winning as many competitions as possible. And knowing when you get a couple of setbacks, then it hurts. So it's using that hurt to motivate you to go on and win the next challenge, which is obviously the Scottish Cup.
John, how have the players taken to the news that Scott is going to be leaving at the end of the season?
It's probably not quite sunk in yet, probably because he's still here. He's very much an important figure and will be for now to the end of the season. But again, it's been, you know, work as normal. Everybody's trained well. They're in a good place, and Scott's not the type that'll let this affect him or anyone around him. So he's been his usual self. It's also disappointing for us in terms of, you know, the way he's seen things and the new challenge he wants to take on. But we also got to respect that, and you know, it's a decision he's taken on himself. Love to have kept him here at the club because he's such an important figure, and he has been for such a considerable period of time. It's a huge success, you know, and we felt he still had more in the tank, but you know, he's seen things differently in terms of he's seen a new challenge that he wants to take on, and we've got to respect that.
For you personally, obviously you've worked with him for a long time. How many conversations did you have with him and trying to kind of keep him at Celtic?
I had a couple with him, just in terms of, you know, he came to me with the situation he was in. He was also in discussions around that, and I know he was in discussions for a long period of time with the club. And he's always a close dialogue with the club. He's been here that long. He's a good relationship. And especially when someone gets to the age they're at, it becomes much more short-term outlook. You know, they're looking at your 4-year and your 5-year contracts, and the bigger picture, it's around, right, what's the next step, you know, season on season. And he's been having these conversations, you know, for the last couple of seasons. You know, looking at him and the way he's played more recently as well, he's still got more on his legs. He's still got, you know, enough time to go out there and play more, and he wants to do that, but he also sees himself as, you know, making that transition into doing a bit of coaching and being involved in that side of it as well. An opportunity to present itself with someone who knows well, and Stephen, and he's taken that. So I've had conversations with him. You know, loved for him to spend more time at the club. He's been such a huge figure here, and not just Celtic, but in Scottish football. But alongside that, it's been at Celtic and a huge part of that. So again, disappointed we'll lose him. But again, life goes on, and we've got to look forward as well.
For you, how are you feeling about all the changes Celtic at the moment? Obviously, Peter's leaving this summer, Scott's announced he's going, Neil's already said that he's going, and then obviously we had the news yesterday that Nicky Hammond is leaving as well.
Yeah, obviously Nick, you know, made the decision to look for a new challenge. He's moved on. I spoke to Nick last night, and he was good. Nick's a terrific guy, fantastic work ethic. Came in and settle up a lot of processes behind the scenes that people won't know about. To get us covering more areas around the world, bringing more personnel in to look at more players, and then things take time then to build on that. But Nick's obviously seen. Looked at his own situation and decided that step away and look for something else. So again, wish him all the luck. Great guy to work with. Had a great relationship with Nick. Really good guy. So again, he gets our best wishes. And just in terms of the general change, it seems to have a lot of things came at the same time, which is a challenge in itself. But it's about the being calm, and being composed in moments when you have to make decisions. And the club are good that way. They see how things work. From the outside, everyone doesn't always see the way things operate, in-house. They maybe look at purely results, and that's what you're judged on, but, it's also after such a huge period of success, everything doesn't just come crumbling down. It doesn't work like that. There's a lot of good foundations, good people at the place, and it's then replacing the guys that are moving out with good personnel, and keeping things moving forward the whole time.
Hi John, have you been given any indication by Peter or anyone of you that there's going to be some kind of appointments in the departments that have left, such as Neil, such as Nicky? Because obviously you'll be planning for next season, and the fact that the head of football operations is leaving, and the fact that Neil is no longer there,
yeah.
I guess fans will be wondering who's in charge of the recruitment for next season.
Well, we still have, and then again, this is probably unknown. Nick very much overseeing recruitment was one facet of his job, but it was across the football spectrum in terms of different areas. But we still have a recruitment team. We still have a chief scout or head of recruitment. So all the processes and the personnel are still there. Yeah, the heads of those departments, whatever that may be, Peter, Neil, Nick, are changing. But underneath that, the work still goes on. And then again, the club will decide what's the best way moving forward in terms of who they replace, and how they structure that. If they want to make any structural changes, or they just replace like for like in terms of personnel. So again, that's at board level, that's above me. They'll make the decisions, but very much behind the scenes things will still, keep moving forward the way they do. And then obviously when decision time comes, then there'll be people there to make those decisions.
Have they given you a timescale at all as the guys are in the first team at the moment?
No, again, for me, I'm not overly concerned for myself. I'm not overly concerned by the time frame. Again, it's about Falkirk. It's about the next game, and I just keep taking it that way. I'm not looking at the big picture or thinking, I wonder if they're going to replace me anytime soon or whatever it might be. It doesn't matter. I'm not the important guy here, and I've said this before. I really am. My job is to get the best out of the players and the team for the time being, and obviously get results when the games come around, and that's the focus is.
John, just going back to Scott, is there a feeling at all that the club could have done more to keep him, perhaps offering that 2-year deal he wanted, or do you think that it is the right move for both parties, for the club and for Scott?
You're more in the know than me. That's 2-year deals. So again, he's went in Aberdeen a 2-year deal, but that's not to say that wasn't part of the talk here. People come to conclusions on that. Scott's always had a very honest, open relationship, especially with Peter and the guys around the club. They've been obviously speaking over a period of time, and again, it's down to Scott's preference as well. He knew how much he was valued here. I think he felt that for the last period of time. One, because he's a club captain, but the impact he's had at the club's huge, and people respect that. They respect him for what he's given, and how much of his life he's given to Celtic, and the success that's come with that. So people recognise that, and they always will. So even if Scott moves on, he'll still be heavily respected, and he'll still have a great relationship with the people at the club. But in terms of the conversations with the club, that's confidential between him and Peter or whoever else it may be. And obviously Scott's seen things in a way that he's seen a new challenge for himself. He's at an age now where he's coming towards the end. At that point, then whether it be now or next year, then you start looking at different things, and that's the way he's seen it. So, as I said earlier, we've got to respect that. Without saying too much about it in terms of his own personal, he can be the only person that gives his true judgment on that, and his true feelings on that. But from our perspective, he was wanted. We would love him to stay, but we respect the decision.
And just looking ahead at the weekend, everyone fully fit. How's James Forrest? Is he? Would you say he's 100% yet? And Mikey Johnson, how far away is he?
Yeah, Mikey's obviously a period of time out again, and again it's been a tough season for Mikey in terms of injuries. He's come through most of the training this week. I'd probably like to get a bit more in him, if I'm being honest, because again, a young player, and he's still maturing and physically developing, at his stage. And what we don't want to do is rush him back too quickly. He just keeps getting another injury. So we need to make sure he's robust enough and ready. One with James is again had a good week's training, so James is good to go. Again, getting into the Rangers game, we brought him off the bench, and obviously the Dundee United game, but he's now had enough training time in that to come into contention to start games now.
There's so much upheaval at the club. Have you been given any assurances over your own future beyond the summer, basically?
No, nothing at all, and I don't expect it. It's a big club, and individuals aren't important at this time, especially me thinking about myself. So what will be. I'll do the best job I possibly can for the time being. But at any football club, you can never give any assurances in times like this for anyone, because you never know what's round the corner. If things change and people want things differently, so be it. I'll know I've done the best I possibly can. But at the same time, while I'm here, I've got a great relationship with people at the club. They know what I can offer. They know I know the players very well. And in terms of how we work, we'll just continue to work the way we do, and get results on the pitch for the time being.
It's been difficult at all to kind of keep the players focused with the chief executive announcements going, managers away, captains going, just so much kind of get on with it. Is it been kind of hard to keep the players' minds on the job?
Not that they've been absolutely terrific. In terms of I've seen it before when managers change and there's that kind of period of uncertainty. But I think when you address the players, in terms of quickly try and draw a line, other things, accept that and give them somewhere to go. And that's for me and the staff and the players as well. The thing is the next challenge and what it is and where we're going with it. You can give up in the season and sit back and just let it, pass you by. But in the last period of time working with the players, last 3-4 weeks, there's still a hunger there. One probably because they're feeling hurt because of the way the seasons went. The Scottish Cup helps that in terms of motivation. But they've worked terrifically well on the training pitch. In terms of the time they've put in, the effort, and a real togetherness, which is important in times like this as well. Challenging times, come under a lot of scrutiny. There's been a huge togetherness, inside the club, and hopefully then that breeds confidence in the players. We get results, and then it just snowballs, and then whatever happens after that, then you're at least in a decent place to then take the next step forward. Again, Odson's one who, even for ourselves, he's a good period without injury. He's pretty much played all the games. And again, even today, Odson's still not arrived back in Glasgow yet. So he obviously played late last night. He will travel back today, so we won't see him till tomorrow. Again, I'll hold off on my decision fully till tomorrow, but I also understand we've got a fully fit squad, a lot of players who have trained really well and in a good place. So I'll get the balance right in terms of getting good strength to go in and win the game, but also look at one or two positions in terms of who's maybe needing a bit more recovery time for this game.
Okay, guys.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Absolutely freezing in here.